pull-up progression because there's 7 different kinds of smoke.
It's very serious.
I got that
Action.
All right, guys, this is Taylor and Nicole with Elevate St. Pete. Today, we're gonna go over the butterfly pull-up. Now, we do have videos on the kipping pull-up and a pull-up progression to get to your strict pull-up. So watch those first, make sure you have all those prerequisites, and then we'll get into the butterfly. So we're gonna start with just sort of the basic mechanics of the kip on the butterfly and trying to get your first good rep. Now, too many people make the mistake of bending their knees way too much, and remember this is a hip-driven movement. So we're gonna do sort of a reverse kip. So your feet are gonna come forward, and then we're gonna try to use your hips to get you up and above the bar. Your first rep, we're gonna try to land in front of the bar when you come down. So Nicole's gonna show us what that looks like. Okay, so notice where she landed, up here, not behind. Let's see a bad rep from behind. Okay, so she didn't really go anywhere. She didn't actually go through that plane. That's what we want on the first rep, to go through it. Let's see one more good one. Awesome. Now notice she kept her legs straight. She didn't tuck them back. So I want you to show an example of kind of a bad one where the feet kick back. Yeah, there's lots of that. First butterfly pull-ups, everybody wants to do that. You overextend, you bend your knees, or you tuck your knees up front. And all of that is just getting rid of a lot of power production and making you really inefficient. So after you've got the 1 rep where you come up front and you really worked on that straight leg kip, we're gonna go for 1.5. And this is gonna see if you have control and balance over your second rep. So let's do the 1.5. So that finished position, she was straight arm back behind the pull-up rig. So that's showing that she didn't get out of balance. She can maintain and go right back through that cycle. So we've got 1 where you land in front, 1.5 where you're behind it, and then we can go to 2. All right. So a couple of things that will help during this is kind of pay attention to where you're looking. You don't want to be looking down or cranking your head way back. The goal is just to get your chin above the plane of the bar. So you don't want to get too close. We're just trying to break that plane. I find it helps if you look kind of up and in front of you, and that way you just keep your sight ahead of you. You can keep that balance. Anything to add to that?
A common fault we see are people tend to over pull with their upper body when it is really a hip-driven movement. So a lot of times we'll see people come through and they smack the bar and then they stop, okay? It should be through, and it should be the mantra of feet, hips, feet, hips. So that just reinforces that the knees stay straight. Your feet, right with that 1.5, when we're here, your feet are out in front first, then the hips open, okay? Feet get loaded, then the hips open.
Yeah, and something that I find that seems to be helpful with people is thinking about sort of pointing toes out front and keeping them there for a little longer than they're used to.
Yeah.
So almost like an L sit where you just kind of keep your feet, you know, out there and your legs straight for a while, and just let that happen, and then, because it is just a rhythm thing.
Yeah, flick your feet and flick your feet.
Yeah.
And just be a little more patient.
So spend more time out front than you do with your legs behind you.
Right.
That usually helps to avoid that big kickback.
Yeah.
So work on that. It takes some time. It takes a lot of practice to get the butterfly pull-up. So just start with 1, 1.5, 2. And then once you feel like you get a couple really good reps and you're not overreaching, then go for 3 and 4.
Yeah, ladders are good.
Yeah, doing ladders, doing EMOMs where you just give yourself, I want to do 5 unbroken reps for 10 minutes straight. You just do that on the minute, give yourself plenty of rest. But it just takes some time and some practice.
Yeah.
But those will definitely help you, and just pay attention. You can videotape yourself and make sure that you're keeping your legs where you want them, because it is a balance and a rhythm thing more than anything.
Yeah, and make sure that when you are committed to finally mastering the butterfly, that you stick to it. I made this mistake in the beginning where I'd get frustrated halfway through a workout because my butterfly was off, and I knew I could get it done with a gymnastics kip, so I would just tell myself, you know what, I don't care about the time or the clock. I want to master the butterfly pull-up. I'm gonna commit to it regardless of how long it takes me. Or maybe just cut the reps down. You know, like if it's a set of 20 or 30 that you're used to doing with a gymnastics kip, you don't have your butterfly yet, that's gonna cause you to just sit underneath the pull-up bar for way too long. Shave the reps, go for quality, and just commit to learning them and not reverting back to the gymnastics kip when you get tired.
Yeah, and the last thing I'd add is the regular kipping pull-up that we went through in the last video, you're using your arms a lot more than you do in the butterfly pull-up.
Yeah.
So in the butterfly, your arms will actually be a lot more relaxed. So make sure you're not overbending the arms a lot, just kind of keep them loose. Again, it's legs and hips like Nicole said. So try those things out and give us your feedback. If you have questions, go ahead and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to Elevate St. Pete on YouTube for more technique videos.